Hey, what's the deal, YouTube? It's your girl, Miss Honey. Honey. Hey. It's your girl, Miss Honey, here for Season 5, Episode 2, Handmaid's Tale. Listen, I stand corrected. I thought it was supposed to be the last season, but apparently there's one more season left, which is great because I'm excited about the wins. Okay, in this series. Okay, so I think this episode is called Ballet. And it's all about the orchestration of everything. How orchestrated Serena Joy, more specifically, but also how things are done in a very orchestrated way as it pertains to Gilead. But without further ado, let's get into this episode. Remember to subscribe if you're not already. Remember to rate this video. Give it a thumbs up because that's engagement, you guys. Remember to comment down below because that's how we really chew on each episode. Listen, Serena Joy better be careful. If she ain't careful, she gon' while she thinks she is the puppet master, she thinks she's slick as boiled okra. She better be careful she don't end up mollywop that baby ripped from her belly and living in Gilead. Cause you're moving real evil, Serena. You're moving real evil. But that ain't nothing new for you. Let's go back to the beginning, child. So we see June. She daydreaming again. Dream. Right? She daydreaming again. Now she daydreaming about Fred. She done came down off of that high, child. She over there daydreaming about Serena Joy and getting her opportunity to mollywop her. Right? Okay. So she get up out of the bed from that dream, child, and she remember that gun that her sister had given her. Her handmaid sister had given her. And she go outside in the middle of the night, early morning hours, I guess, and dig a hole in the snow and bury the gun. Okay, girl. We see where Serena is being escorted into Gilead with Fred's body. And baby, when I tell you, she is on a real vengeful tip. Right? Very vengeful. She threatens everybody until she gets her own way. She gets there. Everybody's being cordial to her. They got Fred's body. She want to go see the church. Like, you still got pulled in Gilead. Girl, they push this body off on the side of the road. Mollywop you upside the head and be done with you. You in they country. I don't know. She is so delusional. She is so delusional. She see that they got a small church, okay, and then it's a small cemetery, you know, and she is disgusted by the whole situation. So she just basically threatens Commander Joseph and Nick that she's gonna let everybody know that they the ones that got Fred killed. They the ones helped Fred get killed. She can't really prove it. They're not really afraid of what she'll say or do, but it's best to just move on past her, get her through this whole moment and get her out of town. That's what Nick and Commander Joseph is thinking, okay? And really that's ultimately their goal. We see where Esther and Janine with Aunt Lydia, and they talking about the Putnams. The Putnams may want Esther to bear their next child and help Janine to help get Esther ready. That she's thanking Janine for helping to get Esther ready. She has kept Esther calm. She has talked with Esther. She has convinced Esther that all she got to do is just close your eyes and pretend it's a game. Just, just patty cake, baker's man. Yeah, that's all you got to do, right? Forgetting that the Putnams have her first child, Janine's. Forgetting that she was so distraught with not having her baby after having given birth to her baby. She is so distraught that she takes the baby and was going to kill herself and the baby, okay, rather than be without the baby. And that's why they ultimately took her eye, okay? Okay. She done forgot all that because, Janine is touched in the head, right? Y'all remember that. But she has done a good job of convincing Esther to take on the Putnams. And one of the reasons that she has done that so efficiently and so well to Aunt Lydia's satisfaction is because her daughter is still there. She is doing all of this just to get a moment with her daughter. And when she brings it up to Aunt Lydia says, don't get ahead of yourself. Yes, you've helped us to indoctrinate and enslave a whole human. Okay, so that we can farm her ovaries out. But that don't mean we owe you. Right? We see where Serena is she's at the wake. Now she got a security team. She got 2 security people from Canada, and she got Tuello, who is escorting her around the city in Gilead. Now they keep them in the parlor. They keep them in the foyer of the Putnam's house, right? Because now we at the wake that they gonna have for Fred. And Serena Joy is there, and she is in her dark blue, child, because that's her morning blue. And they take her on inside, and they are just talking about what a miracle she is and what a miracle she is carrying, and how it's so miraculous with everything's going on that she is able to hold on and still be this miraculous miracle. And you got a whole baby in your belly right now, and it's just gonna be so regal and so royalty. And I was just like, Serena, they want your baby, girl. These people want your baby. I don't know if you know or not, but these people want your baby. Now, I could feel it. What did y'all think? Y'all put it down below. It just seemed like they were so focused on her baby and her belly. I was like, girl, if you don't gather your things and go. But nope. Serena got to have it her way, and I'm prepared to be wrong, child. I'm prepared to be wrong. Okay, so we see where Fred's name is basically Mud. Like I said, what they're focusing on really is Serena and that baby. Okay, we see where June is at the house with Luke and Moira and Rita, and they finna play game night. They bring all the games out, Scrabble game, and so when they bring all the games out, June has kind of a flashback, because you remember that Fred used to play Scrabble with her on the nights that he would take her out to the Eyes Wide Shut parties, right? And so she was having kind of like a little flashback. It kind of triggered her a little bit to Scrabble. So we see where Rita goes in the kitchen to get something. June goes after her, and she kind of corners her. And she says, can you believe that Serena Joy is in Gilead? I hope they take her. I hope they kill her. I hope they put her on the wall. I hope they cut a baby out of a stomach and kill the baby right in front of her. I don't know what she said. If she said kill the baby or take the baby, I can't remember. But what in the hell, June? What in the hell? She is so obsessed. And Rita is like, I don't want to talk about that. Moira comes in the kitchen. She was like, why are you being so morbid? Like, leave it alone. Serena Joy's going to get hers. You focus on you. Like, they don't want to talk about that. It's game night. They don't want to go over this gruesome mess. They don't want to talk about Gilead, right? We here, we free. Serena wants to talk about it. Yeah, I hope she gets. And then Rita's like, I don't really think about Serena Joy. I try not to think about it. I try to, I'm getting better. I'm doing better. And she was like, remember when she slapped you? I know we always talk about the things she did to me, but remember when she slapped you? And then she starts to go over how it all transpired, Rita getting slapped. And Moira's like, June, stop. And June keeps going, June, stop. And June keeps going. And finally, Moira's like, Mother Ducker. Rita is like, look, I'm not there. I'm moving on past this bitterness and this pain. And walks out. And June is just standing there like, I'm just saying. The witch need to die. I was like, June, you need to calm down up in here now. It's looking real. This is why the people don't want you to bathe your own baby. This is why. Okay? Rita let her know I hate Serena too, but no, I'm not finna eat off the plate of bitterness with you. Okay? We see where Aunt Lydia arrives. Like I said, at the Putnam, she got Esther, she got Janine. And first, Esther has got to meet Mrs. Putnam. Mrs. Putnam is like, I heard she used to be a wife. She's not anymore. She's kind of young, isn't she? I heard she's a handful. And Aunt Lydia smooths it all over. Oh no, she used to be a wife, but that just means she knows exactly what her place is and what she should be doing. And Mrs. Putnam was like, I guess, child. And so Aunt Lydia takes her by the hand and takes her in there to see Mr. Putnam. Meanwhile, Janine, little baby, run in the room, and Janine get a chance to hug her and talk to her for a little bit and hug her a second time. When she hugged her that second time, it was a little bit too long, and Mrs. Putnam said, that's enough. But Janine was so happy just with those few little moments. She was so happy just with those few little moments. Esther didn't see that. Esther wasn't there when Janine got her eye put out, when she went through everything that she went through, being hurt and being raped and just coming to grips with being raped and being okay with it and thinking it was you know what I'm saying? Like, she don't really know Janine at all. Okay? And because Janine has spent all of her time kind of big up in the process and trying to get Esther to be okay with it so they both can live, so they both can survive and just be okay, she hasn't really had time to tell her whole story. Plus, Janine doesn't really look at her story like that. Like I said, she a little touched in the head. So in this moment where Esther could have seen Janine is just doing what she has to do to kind of survive, to just deal, right? And this is why she's doing it. She's got this little baby she loves. It's a moment. It was real sweet. And it hurt my heart for Janine, right? So we see where Aunt Lydia takes Esther in. And it's just all the men sitting in Putnam's study. And they kind of eyeballing her. And he asks everyone to leave. Aunt Lydia still stands there. And he tells Aunt Lydia to leave too. And Aunt Lydia's like, I beg your pardon. He was like, I said go. And she was like, oh, okay. And she touches Esther's shoulder. Esther don't know what's going on, right? Like, she not sure. She want to throw up. She want to break and run. She want to scratch his eyes out. Like, she does not want to do this ish, right? But he's a sicko. And he says, oh, you want a piece of chocolate? And she doesn't say anything. He was like, well, you are young and tender, aren't you? And she was like, oh, hell. He goes to get the chocolate, but she can't get the chocolate and eat the chocolate while he talked to her. No, he wants to feed her the chocolate. He wants to feed it and play around with it on her lips and all of that. All of this creepy stuff. I know it makes her flesh crawl. It cuts away from there. We don't know if he assaulted her. We don't know if he forced her to do something to him. We don't know what she went through in that room. We have no idea. We just know that it's not going to be good for Esther to be there. Okay? Especially if this man want to humiliate her like this in private. Oh, this just the beginning. So we see where June tells Luke about Serena and the finger, the fact that she sent that finger to Serena, and he was like, why would you do that? You putting our whole family in danger. This woman is in danger. And June is like, I know, right? I know. He's mad about it, but he still encourages June. You guys know he is never ever going to give up on June. And she tells him that she needs to move on. He pretty much, he says, you need to move on, and he says, move on. It's not that you have to be afraid of her. She has to be afraid of you. Duck her. That's how June is. Duck her. She ain't got to worry about me being scared of her. She need to be scared of me. Duck her. Duck her in the horse she rode in on. So we see where Serena takes her plea to the men. The men are all gathered. She goes in and she wants to make a plea because Commander Joseph told her that they felt like the accommodations they gave her for Fred's funeral was fine, and that nothing else would be done. So now she's gonna go in, bust in on the men, and make her plea to the men about Commander Joseph's legacy and doing it, and Nick and Fred's legacy, and doing it the right way because he's one of the founding fathers. But he was also a treasonous, right? Like a traitor. This is what Putnam says. Now, this is the same thing that got her to lose her finger, right? Grandstanded against the men. But she feels like she has to do this, and she probably feels protected because she is pregnant. Like, they're not going to do anything to her because it would hurt the baby, and babies are like first and foremost. They're like top priority in Gilead. So I'm sure she feels confident with that too. Also, Joseph and Nick are kind of helping her. They aren't siding with her. They're just giving the pros to doing it Serena's way as opposed to the cons that Putnam is giving. And, Joseph says, hey, listen, if we do it this way, it kind of promotes our lifestyle. It shows that Nick jumps in and says, we are forgiving, humane, kind, something is supposed to make the men of Gilead, the higher uppers look very the word is escaping me. It's not forgiving, it's benevolent, just trying to make them appear to be more caring. Right? That's what it will look like to the people. And so, when they put it this way, they kind of agree. They don't say it to Serena, but they tell Commander Joseph, and he tells Serena that they're going to do the funeral the regular way, the state funeral, right? It's a big, to do. So we see where Esther is terrified of being posted, and they're on their way back. She tells Janine that she's terrified and she's afraid. And Janine is like, don't worry, just get pregnant as soon as you can. When you're pregnant, they treat you like a queen. Just try to get pregnant. It's really, really quick. And stay pregnant and you're going to always be treated like a queen. And Esther just takes her hand back. She was like, okay. She knows not to argue because she knows that's just going to make Janine ratchet up the propaganda. At the same time, she just wants to say, I am afraid. I'm scared. I don't want this grown man's hands on me, touching me. I don't want him touching me at all. I can just imagine how terrified she must be, And, my heart goes out for Esther, but I understand why Janine is doing what she's doing too. Plus, I know that Janine is slow. So, Esther is starting to see everything Janine is doing, every time Janine opens her mouth, Aunt Lydia falls out, and Esther's starting to see that, and she don't like it. And y'all know, if y'all know Esther from a couple of seasons ago, y'all know that Esther is not one to be toyed with, right? So we see where Nick meets up with Tuello. Tuello wants to talk Nick into being a CI, I guess, or coming over to the Canadian side, being an asset on the Canadian side. And he says you do a really good job of riding the line, of not, making yourself a target on either side. You would be an asset to the Canadians. And Nick was like, okay, I'll remember that. We see where June gets ready. She's getting ready to go to the ballet at the same time that Serena Joy is getting dressed for Fred's funeral. And I mean, she is dressed to the what nines. June is dressed real nice too. But again, it's for the ballet. So it's white. She's got on white. She's got on some real cute shoes, a beautiful red lip, a real airy, light, fun, sexy date night type situation. Meanwhile, Serena Joy looks just as beautiful, baby. But when I tell you she is shrouded in the blackest of the blackest tulle. Long, flowing black dress down to the ground, baby. And she got on some leather boots that's to the leg, baby. Skin tight, honey. She is, I'm talking about the devil wears Prada sharp. Okay, so they open the doors and they take Fred's body and they roll Fred's body out, and out comes Serena Joy, baby, covered in this. It's almost like a wedding dress, but it's black, baby. And she is coming down the steps, and there are people throwing flowers on each side of Fred's casket and at her feet. And they're just standing there. They line the street, and she walking down the street behind the body, baby. And they going past all the officers, you know what I'm saying? Then they go past all the Marthas, okay? Blue on each side. Then they go past all the handmaids, and they shrouded in a red netting, you know, and they on each side, and they give her the bow, and then she comes up to where they gonna have his body, and the other men, his counterparts are there, and she gives a little light curtsy, and then they show all the up and coming. All the children are there that have been born from the handmaids. I won't say all, but a good cluster of them. You know, the important ones. The ones that belong to the Putnams and the other high families in the hierarchy, right? And we see Hannah, June's daughter. The one she didn't get out. Okay, we see her in the background, right? This all the planning Serena has done. We go back to June, and we see where June is crying, and she is having a moment because the dance is so beautiful, and she's at this place where she's not thinking about the sadness and the horror and the trauma of her past, or thinking about Hannah. She's just being present in this moment, enjoying the dance, and it's causing all of these emotions. It's a good moment. They go outside, and they are in the plaza, and they are hugging and kissing, and it's just a beautiful moment. They've got TVs out there. It's kind of like Times Square a little bit. They've got TVs out there, and they are just just having this really, really surreal moment together. Like I said, just being present. Okay, we see where Esther asked Janine how it was seeing her daughter. So evidently Janine told her she saw her daughter, but again, she did not see Janine with her daughter. Okay, I think that moment would have said a lot to Esther. And Janine just starts talking about it and talking about how great it was to see her little baby. And Esther tells her she's got some chocolate that she stole from the Putnams, and I want to share it with you. And she watches Janine eat the chocolate, and she's just talking and talking and talking and talking, and like Janine do, bloop 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 bloop. And Esther has taken one bite, and finally she Janine says, tells Esther that she thought that Esther would be mad at her, but she's glad that Esther is relaxing, and she's just going to get with the program because it's just going to be better. And Esther says, she says, I thought you didn't like me, but I'm glad that you do like me. When you first got here, I could tell you didn't like me. And Esther said, yeah, I've been thinking about that. You know what? And the more I think about it, the more I was right not to like you. All you want is for me to do what you want me to do. It's all just for you. Okay, and you've sided with them. You're with them. You're helping them to hurt me, basically. And Janine is like, I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Why would you say that? Why would you say you don't like me? I mean, I really taught you how to survive here, and I just don't understand why you would think. And she was like, you know what? And Esther takes another bite of the chocolate. She's like, you know what? You are a horrible person, Janine. And it looked like chocolate, but it's so dark and it's moving so quickly. Like, you know what I'm saying? It ain't stuck in one place. It's very liquefied and it's dripping out of their mouth. I was like, oh, no. That is not chocolate. That's chocolate and blood. And Janine is like, I just don't. I said, why are you? Blood. Esther, blood. And Janine is like, help us. Someone help us, please. And they done fell out on the floor. Help us. Please, someone help us. Lydia comes in, and Lydia is like, what is happening? What's going on? What have you girls gotten yourselves into? They both just... Blood just still coming. Janine is laying there on the floor. You know how they like to pan out and show you from a downward angle, right? They show you red, white, and that dark crimson blood gathering all around both of their heads. Whoo! And Aunt Lydia's like, why would you? Why would you take my baby, Lord? Talking about Janine. You mean the girls that you were whoring out? You mean the girls that you were beating into submission so that they can become rape victims? Really, Lydia? Really? It's a tragic moment. It is a tragic moment. You know, all we see is Lydia, blood, beauty, and death. Whoo! We see Serena. And like I said, they've enjoyed the ballet, June and Luke. They now in the plaza. Serena has come to this place where she is right in front of the men at the funeral. The body is stopped. The men are there. She stands, she curtsies. Behind her comes Hannah. From out amongst the children comes Hannah, and she's got flowers that she's going to give to Serena and curtsy. And Serena takes the flowers and she gives her a kiss on the cheek. Okay? At the same time, the TV cameras in the plaza where Luke and June are is showing the funeral, Fred's funeral in Gilead. Now, you tell me how this works. You tell me how this works. But apparently, although they are against Gilead's policies, okay, although they are consider themselves to be superior to Gilead's brutality, you're showing this man's funeral on a TV in the plaza. And June sees Hannah. She sees her. Okay? Luke sees her. Okay? And she sees Serena. She sees Hannah give Serena the flowers. She sees Serena take the flowers and kiss her daughter, Hannah, on the cheek. So gently. So sweetly. And then look back at the TV camera like, bee. Okay, which? Now what? I see you one day at Fred, and I raised you. Ahana loves me best. Gives June a little smile. She knows if June is watching, June will see this, and June will be infuriated. Now, mind you, we just got June to calm down from being Katie Kaboom, and Serena Joy pulls this stunt. Okay, listen, y'all best leave June alone, because June done told y'all she will salt the earth everywhere her feet trod till she get her baby back. She done let y'all know she will use her own teeth to rip your ear off. Okay, she gonna lay waste to you mofos, but y'all have nobody to blame but yourselves. I want to see though, Serena Joy, since you being so smart, and you being so smug, and you think you are so clever that you have been able to get your dead, treasonous, murderous, raping arse husband a funeral that you feel like is befitting of you. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, duck Fred. This all about you, Serena Joy. I want to see how your face changed when you realize they ain't letting you out of Gilead and they got plans for your baby. Because, see, Esther dead now. The Putnam's going to have a baby from somewhere. And you happen to be carrying one. And your husband happened to be treasonous. So I'd be interested in seeing if they let your behind out of Gilead. Y'all tell me what you think. Y'all put it down below. Listen, and until next time, honeybees. Mwah, mwah, mwah. I holla.